Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ashanti. V for the win. Back with another episode as we talk about the NBA playoffs. The NBA Final Four is set. The NBA's version of the Final Four is set. The Eastern Conference, kind of a surprise 8 seed. The Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. A team that we expected to be there. We kind of expected Milwaukee to be that other team to play Boston. Boston just played Philly. Won a game 7. Jason Tatum redeeming himself, man, just going out there and getting, 51 points relatively easy. People were starting to point fingers at Jason Tatum. People were starting to question, is he a superstar that can lead a team, And I think Jaylen Brown gets lost, in a lot of those talks because I think without, Jaylen Brown, I think Jason Tatum wouldn't be, the kind of, special player that he is. I think those two are special together, and it just seems like Boston may win the series against Miami. I don't think they may. I think they will win the series against Miami. We'll talk about that, tomorrow night. Tonight we're going to talk about the West. I mean, the Western Conference is right now the Los Angeles Lakers coming in much maligned, during the season. Started off 2-10 for the season. Just looked like it was going to be a disaster season for the Lakers, man. Going against the Denver Nuggets, the top seed in the West, and Denver's done it relatively easy. It seems like with no pushback at all. The Denver Nuggets are absolutely, right now, in my opinion, I think they're the best team in the playoffs right now. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that the Denver Nuggets have had the competition they're going to get this round. You know what I'm saying? This is, 4 games to go to the NBA Finals. These games are going to be high intensity. You're going to have to be, made for games like this. I think that legacies are built for games in this series like this. We've seen it. And how ironic is, these 4 teams that are left, basically the same matchups that was in the bubble. You know what I mean? At some point in the bubble with these 4 teams. And in that foursome, it was, Miami going against the Lakers. And we know how that ended. The Lakers wound up winning the championship that year. And people, kind of poo-pooed it a little bit and said it wasn't important. It was an asterisk by the championship, which I always said it was bull, man. You know what I mean? Because you had every team that's in the playoffs, every team that got in, played in the same arena, the same court. It was a level playing field. So I do think that it meant something, to those players. They wanted to win. We seen, guys like Jamal Murray, who continues to flourish, really put his heart soul into that bubble playoff run, and I thought it was a special time where his legacy was made. He started to make a name for himself in the bubble, and now I think it's carried over a couple years later. None of us are surprised to see Jamal Murray the player that he is. You know what I mean? He's a high pick, University of Kentucky, from Canada. The Nuggets, listen, if you want to make an argument for the Nuggets winning this series, I can see that. You know what I mean? They're the number 1 seed. You know what I mean? The Nuggets are absolutely well coached. I think Mike Malone's a fantastic head coach. They can play defense. That's what I do like about them. They did hold the Minnesota. Their low point was 80 points in that series. Just like the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers held the Grizzlies to 85. Was the Grizzlies' low water mark in Game 6 against against Memphis. They held Golden State in game 3, it was 97 points in that series. You know, the Nuggets held the Suns to 87 points in game 2. So both teams had 6 guys in double figures, in the last series. It's eerily similar how these teams are almost mirror images of each other. You know what I mean? They play center oriented offense. With the Joker, Anthony Davis, and we all know, everybody knows, when Anthony Davis plays well, the Lakers play well, and they're damn near unbeatable. You know what I'm saying? If you're on the Lakers side of it, you see LeBron James. It was almost like LeBron James didn't even break a sweat in the last series, and I don't think that that's a good sign for Denver, because it just seemed like LeBron didn't exert himself, and he still, was sleepwalking in a couple of those games, and he still, will get 25 without even trying hard. It seems like. So yeah, if you Denver, you got to get production out of Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. is a fantastic. That's another guy that I'm really high on. High volume shooter. Can shoot the three. I like just players like him that could play both sides. He's a guy that's got to get his confidence, man. They got to feed him the rock. Denver's gonna need another scorer to beat the Lakers, man. You know what I'm saying? They do spread it out, spread it all around, just like the Lakers do. But I think that they got to be predicated. They got to make it their point to get Michael Porter Jr.'s got to get off. He's got to average 18, 19 points in this series, I think, for the Nuggets to win. It's going to be tough. Aaron Gordon is not known for much of a scorer, but he has been. I give Aaron Gordon credit. It seems like he's changed his game a little bit offensively for the better since he's been in Denver. He's never known for really any moves on the inside, but he's got a little low post game. You know what I mean? He's got some moves down there. He's a relatively live, active body, can rebound, block shots. I really like how they use him, next to Joker. That's the perfect guy to have in that system to play with Joker. So I think the Lakers could have their hands full. But if you want to go to the Lakers side of it, since the trade, I mean, this team has just been a different team. They won 43 games. It was 10 less games than Denver, for the season. But you could say the Lakers are an improved team. They're better than the 7th seed, that they finished. They're better. If they would have had, probably, if they would have started off the season with the team they had now, they probably would have won anywhere between, 52 and 46 games, which probably would have got them a little bit higher seed, The Lakers are a different team, LeBron James, Anthony Davis playing at his optimal gives the Lakers a shot, and I think that they can win the series. I do think they will win the series. I think the Lakers are going to win this series just because when you put everything on the table, if Anthony Davis can nullify whatever the Joker does, if the Joker goes out and scores 30, Anthony Davis has got to score 23, 24 points, to negate his scoring. I think both teams are good enough defensively where they can take one player away per side, whoever gets the defensive upper hand. I think the Lakers, Jared Vanderbilt has been a guy that has done all the dirty work. He's been great, for the Lakers, as well as Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder can score a little bit, but he can play. He's a good wing defender, I think Jamal Murray is going to have to, score 25, 30 points a game to keep pace, to get the Lakers out of there. I mean, it's going to have to be, the scores are going to have to score in this series, because if the defense is able, I think the Lakers are better defensively than Denver. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? When the bench is going to be huge. I think Denver has a little bit better bench than the Lakers. Rui Hachimura has been great. Another guy that the Lakers can bring off the bench. I think the emergence of Lonnie Walker in the last series. Lonnie Walker, I think, won the series for him against the Warriors. You know, when they went up 3 games to 1, that series was relatively over. You know what I mean? And credit Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham, the one question mark I had for Darvin Ham coming into these playoffs is, can he press the right buttons? Is he a guy that you can count on that's going to draw up the right play? Or for a stretch of the game, 12, 15 minutes, your coaches has to be on his game, man, because I think those little stretches in the game, when 7 or 8 minutes into the third quarter, after halftime, I think is huge, man. And he's done a great job of putting the players, the guys that could keep a run going. You know, Austin Reeves, he's used him masterfully. Is Austin Reeves the next coming of the next wave of great players? No, I mean Austin Reeves he's a role player, but he's used him enough where he was effective, and he actually took over one game in that Memphis series. You know what I'm saying? There's no way a guy like Austin Reeves should be dominating any game. But you know what? For a stretch of the game, Austin Reeves looked like he belonged out there, you know what I'm saying, against the Grizzlies. Now, a lot of it because the Grizzlies, listen, they're a lackluster squad, you know what I'm saying? We can see now they had a lot of problems behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Austin Reeves might have just was the final straw that kind of just made the Grizzlies quit, you know what I'm saying? I think that one good game Austin Reeves had, you know what I mean? Lonnie Walker, great play. You turn it over to Denver, and it was like the Timberwolves didn't push back at all. You know, I mean, everybody loves Anthony Edwards, but after him, Karl Anthony Towns, who's suspect. You know what I'm saying, at best. I mean, Anthony Towns a good player, but I mean, I don't think he's a difference maker or anything like that. I don't think that he's a guy that you can really say, hey, they got Karl Anthony Towns, they're going to win the series or something like that. I think the Wolves have noticed that, and I think Anthony Edwards knows it now after 2 exits in the playoffs in 2 straight seasons. But they were plus 44 in point differential, you know what I mean, in that series, and they totally dominated the Timberwolves. You know what I'm saying? It was no doubt that Denver was going to win that series. It was after them winning game 1. The next series against the Suns was totally surprised. I kind of thought Phoenix was going to win the series. You know what I mean? Just because of the cachet that comes with Kevin Durant and the Devin Booker, who always brings it. It seems like he's always the guy that's on the short end of the stick. At some point, but. I very disappointed DeAndre Ayton. I mean, I just think that, I think once the Suns realized that they couldn't match up with Joker and they couldn't really depend on Ayton to kind of pick up the scoring a little bit, they was toast. I think that, they won a couple games, tied the series up. Kevin Durant looked good doing it, but Kevin Durant's streaky as hell, and he won 1 or 2 games for him. You know what I mean? But it wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Denver doesn't even do anything spectacular. They just play fundamentally sound basketball. I mean, that's what Joker does. Good low post passer. He's got an array of moves down there. Jamal Murray is not an exciting guy who's going to, get on Sports Center and make a bunch of highlight, acrobatic plays. He just makes the right play every time. You know what I mean? He could shoot. From the outside, got a good mid-range game, you know what I'm saying, kind of strong, physical, going to the rim. Jamal Murray's a guy that, he can put that team on his back and win a couple games. But I think the equalizer is going to be the experience of LeBron James. Even at his age, he could still win a series, I think, and I think LeBron sees the finish line, man. If you give him 8 games and say, hey, you win these 8 games, you win the championship, I think that we're going to see a different LeBron in this series. I think he's going to assert himself a little bit more. The altitude may be a problem in the first game. The Lakers, both series so far they've played, against the Grizzlies. Game 1 against the Warriors, they won. They started out each series with a road win. I think it was huge. Whoever wins game 1 is going to be huge in this series, and the Lakers have done that. Both they beat the Grizzlies on their home floor, and they beat the Warriors. So going to Denver won't be as challenging as people may think. You know what I mean? I think the Lakers are experienced enough where they can go and come out of there with a victory. You know what I'm saying? Denver, on the other hand, well coached, and like I said, they just like the Lakers, they got 6 guys in double figures in the last series. You know what I mean? When you look at it, Bruce Brown was a guy that maybe overachieved a little bit. Bruce Brown, former Piston, as well as KCP. It's funny that both those guys are on a team, and KCP's already won a championship with LeBron and the Lakers. Now you see him with Denver, and KCP looks like he's become an elite defender, on the wing. So I think that he's a guy that Denver's going to lean on for the experience. I think that Denver, the bubble experience is going to help them. And, when it comes down to it, we all know what we're getting from the Joker. We know he's damn near unstoppable. When he's on the low block, we know Jamal Murray, he's a guy that he's streaky, but he can fill it up and give you 25. I think the problem with Denver is going to be, if Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Bruce Brown can't score, I think they're going to be in trouble. They got Jeff Green. They got some players, some guys that they count on, but I think ultimately it's going to have to be the top 3 guys and the top 2, and they're going to need 2 other guys to beat the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? If you got Michael Porter Jr. is the X factor. I think if Michael Porter Jr. has a huge series, I think Denver's going to win it. You know what I mean? Because he's a guy that can get you 20, 21, 22 points at that spot. You know what I mean? But how are the Lakers going to approach this? You know what I mean? Anthony Davis, he's got to cancel out the Joker. Who's LeBron James going to guard in this series? You know what I mean? Is he going to guard Aaron Gordon to start? Would he take on a more a more drastic role on defense? Because we've seen it, where it seemed like ultimately in the last series he focused a lot on his defense. You know what I mean? So I think LeBron sees the light at the end of the tunnel, and I just believe that the Lakers are going to give him a fight, man. You know what I mean? People just don't believe the Lakers should belong in this series. I'm not in that category. I do think they've played probably the second best basketball in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Next to Denver. You know what I mean? Denver's played the best, but I think the Lakers have been the number 1 team. You know what I'm saying? Boston on the other side. I would say if I had to rank the final 4 teams right now, you would say Denver, the Lakers, Miami, and Boston. You know what I mean? And people just do not want to give Miami credit. You know what I mean? And I think Miami, they've been dominant as well. I mean, they made just, they got rid of the Bucks, dispatched them. And, Miami got rid of the Knicks, and it was like, wow, okay. Everybody knows Jimmy Butler. Everybody knows Jimmy Butler's good. But it's like, man, okay. Didn't even have Tyler Hero, and they still won the series. You know what I mean? It's just phenomenal to watch Jimmy Butler, man. You know what I'm saying? Because is he a guy that's rah-rah and going to dunk from the free throw line? And he's not that at all. It's just he has timely shots. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's methodical. You know what I mean? If you don't have a dog to guard him, he's going to tear you up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think Boston's going to have their hands full, but I do think Boston's going to win the series. You know what I'm saying? This one, I think, could come down to 7 games. Denver and the Lakers going to be 7 games, I think, because – yeah, if you're a Lakers fan, you don't want a Game 7 in Denver. You know what I'm saying? In altitude. You're playing with fire if you're doing that. But I don't think the Lakers are potent enough offensively where they can put them away like that. You know what I'm saying? With 4 games or 5 games or, you know what I'm saying, make it a quick, short series. I think Denver's good enough offensively, and both teams are good defensively, where I think neither team is really going to run away with this series. I just don't see it. You know what I mean? And now, if Anthony Davis pulls an Anthony Davis, then yeah, maybe the Lakers lose this series pretty quick. But I think he's engaged. I think they, like I said, and then that's another thing. I credit Darvin Ham, because Darvin Ham, they listen to the media. You know what I'm saying? This team hasn't bailed on Anthony Davis or anything like that. I think they're a tight-knit group, man, and they know they got 2 of the top 2 two of the top 10 players in the NBA on their team right now. And whenever you got LeBron James at his playoff peak, I don't care how old he is, he's 30, mid 30s, and he's still playing at a high level. That counts for something. You know what I'm saying? In my book, you know what I mean? LeBron James at 34, 35 years old, 36 years old at 80% is better than half the players in the league, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially when playoff time comes. So it's going to be a good series. I really do. I'd be surprised, like I said, if the Lakers, I've seen people say they're going to win, they're going to sweep them or they're going to win in 5 games. I'd be shocked. But just because I just know that Denver's got some dogs too. It's just defensively is where it's going to be intriguing to see what team can establish themselves defensively, because I think both teams can defend. You know what I mean? And if Hachimura can be a guy that the Lakers can count on off the bench, Jared Vanderbilt's going to make all the dirty. He's going to make all the plays that he needs to make. You know what I mean? The Lakers beat a team with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Andrew Wiggins on the same team, and they still won. So look at it like that. If you want to say, well, you know, the Lakers can't defend Denver. Well, the Lakers defended Golden State pretty good. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is I think the Lakers may have some problems with Joker, because Warriors didn't have that. Warriors didn't have an inside presence. You know what I'm saying? The Memphis Grizzlies, yeah, Jaren Jackson, but he's more of like a stretch. You know what I'm saying? A stretch four, or he's a center, but he can shoot from the outside. I like JJ a lot, Triple J, but I just think that the Lakers can win this series if they could score enough points and then defend in key spots. That's all you need. You know what I'm saying? You're not holding teams to 70 points or 60 points. It's not going to happen these days. You know what I mean? So if you can keep the score close in the fourth quarter and let play your half court game, I think that you got a chance. So having said all that, I think the Lakers are going to win this series. I think the Lakers are going to win 7 games, could be 6 if everything goes the Lakers' way, on their home court. But you got to think that both teams may steal one on each other's court. You know what I mean? It may be a situation where the Lakers or Denver have to win 2 on the opposing team's court to win the series. But right now, like I said, I'm going with the Lakers. I just think that the Lakers, after beating the Warriors, in my opinion, I think the Warriors are more deadly offensively. I don't think their highest point total has been 125 points in the playoffs. Speaking of the Nuggets, and the Lakers can score as well, 128, 127. They've had higher outputs than the Nuggets in these playoffs. And LeBron James doesn't even seem like he broke a sweat in the last series. So Lakers, Denver, it's going to be a good series. I think everybody's going to be delighted. I think everybody's going to enjoy the outcome, no matter what side of the ledger you're on. If you're Denver, if you're Lakers, it's V for the win, y'all. Enjoy this series. Enjoy this game. We're going to talk about it after game 1. Peace, y'all.